On today's video you will learn what or who is Lucifer or Luciferianism. So let's start now. Luciferianism is a belief system that venerates the essential characteristics that are affixed to Lucifer, the name of various mythological and religious figures associated with the planet Venus. The tradition, influenced by Gnosticism, citation needed, usually reveres Lucifer not as the devil, but as a destroyer, a guardian, liberator, light bringer or guiding spirit to darkness, or even the true God as opposed to Jehovah. Though associated with Satanism, a philosophy based on the Christian interpretation of the fallen angel, Luciferianism differs in that it does not revere merely the devil figure or Satan but the broader figure of Lucifer, an entity representing various interpretations of their morning star as understood by ancient cultures such as the Greeks and Egyptians. 26. In this context, Lucifer is a symbol of enlightenment. 27. Independence and human progression, and is often used interchangeably with similar figures from ancient beliefs, such as the Greek Titan Prometheus or the Jewish Talmudic figure Lilith. Luciferians generally support the protection of the natural world. Citation needed. Both the arts and sciences are crucial to human development and thus both are cherished. Citation needed. Luciferians think that humans should be focused on this life and how to make the most of it every single day. Citation needed. The ability to recognize both good and evil, to accept that all actions have both positive and negative consequences, citation needed, and to actively influence one's environment, citation needed, are key factors. The Luciferian philosophy in recent years has been defined in a collective foundation, known as the 11 Luciferian Points of Power, 28, authored by Michael W. Ford. The basis of Luciferian philosophy cultivates and encourages individuality, self-determined choices based on strategic application and continually seeking to enhance the will via overcoming challenges. Luciferianism is philosophically practiced with the continual cycle and process known as liberation, illumination and apotheosis. For Luciferians, enlightenment is the ultimate goal. The basic Luciferian principles highlight truth and freedom of will, worshipping the inner self and one's ultimate potential, and to encourage and celebrate the same within all. Traditional dogma is shunned as a basis for morality on the grounds that humans should not need deities or fear of eternal punishment to distinguish right from wrong and to do good. All ideas should be tested before being accepted, and even then one should remain skeptical because knowledge and understanding are fluid. Regardless of whether Lucifer is conceived of as a deity or as a mere archetype, he is a representation of ultimate knowledge and exploration as well as humanity's savior and a champion for continuing personal growth. Theistic Luciferians believe in Lucifer as an actual deity. However, Lucifer is not worshipped as the Judeo-Christian god but is revered and followed as a teacher and friend. Most theistic Luciferians are followers of the left-hand path and may adhere to different dogmata put forth by organizations such as the Neo-Luciferian Church or other congregations which are heavily focused on ceremonial magic, the occult, and literal interpretations of spiritual stories and figures. In the sense of Lucifer worshipper, was first used in the Gesta Trevorum in 1231 for a religious circle led by a woman named Lucardis. It was said that in private she lamented the fall of Lucifer, Satan, and yearned for his restoration to heavenly rule. The sect was exposed by Conrad of Marburg and the Papal Inquisition. In 1234, Pope Gregory IX issued the bull Vox in Rama calling for a crusade against the Stedinger, who were accused of Luciferianism. The bull contains a detailed description of supposed rites and beliefs. This description was repeated and occasionally expanded in the following centuries, but modern historiography agrees on their entirely fictitious nature. The actual identity of the heretics accused of Luciferianism is often difficult to ascertain. Those of the 13th century Rhineland appear to have been Cathars, Alexander Pakhovsky, or a distinct offshoot of the Cathars, Piotr Zarnecki in the 14th century. The term Luciferians was applied to what appear to have been Waldensians. They were persecuted under the Luciferian label in Schwidnitz in 1315 and in Angermund in 1336. In 1392–1394, when some 400 Luciferians from Brandenburg and Pomerania were brought before the Inquisitor Peter Zicker, he exonerated them of devil worship and correctly identified them as Waldensians. At the same time, their Inquisitor Antonio di Settimo in Piedmont believed the local Waldensians to be Luciferians. Lucifer is the name of various figures in folklore associated with the planet Venus. Originally stemming from a son of the personified dawn, the goddess Aurora, in Roman mythology. The entity's name was subsequently absorbed into Christianity as a name for the devil. Modern scholarship generally translates the term in the relevant Bible passage where the ancient Greek figure's name was historically used, Isaiah 14:12, as morning star or shining one rather than as a proper name, Lucifer. In Roman folklore, Lucifer, light bringer in Latin, was the name of the planet Venus, though it was often personified as a male figure bearing a torch. The Greek name for this planet was variously Phosphorus, also meaning light bringer, or Hesperus, meaning dawn bringer. Lucifer was said to be the fabled son of Aurora and Cephalus, and father of Saix. He was often presented in poetry as heralding the dawn. The Latin word corresponding to Greek phosphorus is Lucifer. It is used in its astronomical sense both in prose and poetry. Poets sometimes personify the star, placing it in a mythological context. Lucifer's mother Aurora is cognate to the Vedic goddess Ushas, Lithuanian goddess Osrine, and Greekos, all three of whom are also goddesses of the dawn. All four are considered derivatives of the Proto-Indo-European stem H2SOs, later Osos, dawn, a stem that also gave rise to Proto-Germanic Ostro, Old Germanic Ostara and Old English Oster, Easter. This agreement leads to their reconstruction of a Proto-Indo-European dawn goddess. The 2nd century Roman mythographer Pseudo-Hyginus said of the planet, other instances of Lucifer in the Old Testament pseudepigrapha are related to the star Venus. In the Sibylline Oracles Battle of the Constellations, line 517, Lucifer fought mounted on the back of Leo, 110, or the entirely rewritten Christian version of the Greek Apocalypse of Ezra 4:32, which has a reference to Lucifer, is not the only expression that the Vulgate uses to speak of the morning star. 3 times it uses stella matutina, Sirach 50, referring to the actual morning star, and Revelation 2, of uncertain reference, and Revelation 22, referring to Jesus. Indications that in Christian tradition the Latin word Lucifer, unlike the English word, did not necessarily call a fallen angel to mind, exist also outside the text of the Vulgate. 2 bishops bore that name, Saint Lucifer of Cagliari, and Lucifer of Siena. Lucifer is one of the 4 crown princes of hell, particularly that of the East, the lord of the air, and is described as the bringer of light, the morning star, intellectualism, and enlightenment. The title Lord of the Air is based upon Ephesians 2:2, which uses the phrase Prince of the Power of the Air to refer to the ancient Greek god Zeus, But that phrase later became conflated with Satan. Author Michael W. Ford has written on Lucifer as a mask of the adversary, a motivator and illuminating force of the mind and subconscious. The Luciferian philosophy in recent years has been defined in a collective foundation, known as the 11 Luciferian Points of Power. Authored by Michael W. Ford. The basis of Luciferian philosophy cultivates and encourages individuality, self-determined choices based on strategic application and continually seeking to enhance the will via overcoming challenges. Luciferianism is philosophically practiced with the continual cycle and process known as liberation, illumination and apotheosis.